Brandon here. Thanks for joining me for another episode of SexxxPerTease. I'm back, bitches. Today's episode is about. Well, let me read the prompt. So, I knew my boyfriend was religious before we got together, but he said he stopped going to church because they started preaching anti-gay shit. Though recently he's gone through a rough couple of months and he wants to get back with God and religion, and it's kind of weird for me because I'm an atheist, but he's really adamant about starting to going to church every single Sunday and praying and all this and whatnot. I want to be able to respect him, but it's also awkward since it is an issue for him to date someone that's not religious. I can definitely relate to this, but I do think it is hard for an atheist to date a Christian or Catholic or whatever religion they are. It's just, I feel like it's natural for people that are religious to want to force their religion upon you, just like vegans. They just can't help themselves and want you to force you into their lifestyle, even though you know it's not for you and you don't want anything to do with it. But it's hard for them to respect people's boundaries because they just feel like it's their mission to, like, convert and enslave people into whatever lifestyle they live, but you have to be able to respect others and their choices and the way they live their life, and the way they live their life isn't the way you live your life. So hopefully your boyfriend can respect that because you're not religious, that you don't want that in your life. Like, being an atheist is completely okay, and if someone wants to be religious, that's completely okay. There are lots of gay men that are religious. I realize that a lot while living down south, since that is weird for me as a northerner where everyone's an atheist and church is not something we do, or praying and whatnot, unless it's like Thanksgiving, you have to pray before you eat the food, bless the food or whatever. But it is very common for gay men to, in the South, or even, I guess, all over the country, gays are religious, and it's awkward when you're not religious dating someone that is religious because people want religion, I guess, all throughout their lives if they are religious. Like, they want their partner to be a part of it. Like, they go to church every Sunday. They would ideally like their partner to go to church with them, though I know I can't do that with my boyfriend because he goes with his family and they don't know about me or that he hasn't come out to them yet. So I guess I'm lucky in that sense that I don't have to deal with going to church with him because I don't have to see his family. But I think it's also awkward because I guess if someone's really religious, it could be important for them to get married in a church. And if you're an atheist, you don't want to get married in a church. And it also can cause big problems on the road. Like, when you have children, what if they want to send your kids to Catholic school or a religious school, and you're just like, hell no, I don't want my fucking kids going up in a religious school. I want them to learn evolution, not creation. Like, I feel like that as well, like, that's a big issue down the road. I mean, maybe you can, like, you're not having kids with this person now and just think, okay, it's not an issue we really have to deal with, and maybe they can respect you not wanting to go to church with them, but eventually it will come up that you have this issue that being religious and not religion aren't two very easy things to just reconcile with each other because the person you want to live your lives and your future and the future creating together differently. Like, maybe they can compromise, like, not getting married in a church since you can really much get a wedding anywhere, but if they want to raise your kids religious and you're like, hell no, that's a major extreme issue, and you're eventually going to have to, one person has to win that argument because you can't send the kids, I guess. Well, you maybe could send them to, like, regular public school or private school that's not religious, and then they can go to, like, Bible school or something. But, like, that's a huge issue that you're gonna have to deal with, and honestly, it's hard. Like, you love this person so much, but religion isn't just something that they can easily, like, brush aside. Well, I guess they could if they stop being religious because their church is homophobic, but I'm sure they could find a church. There are gay-friendly churches. A lot of them are popping up. They have, like, rainbow flags outside them, so maybe your boyfriend could find a new church that is gay-friendly, and maybe you don't have to go with him every Sunday, but maybe you just go for him for, like, the big events or special occasions, just to, like, support him and show support. I mean, sometimes we do have to go places we don't want to go because your partner, it's important to them and it's a big thing for them. You want to be a supportive boyfriend and be willing to accept them and what they love to do, even though it's not something you're comfortable with. But instead of maybe not going to church, like, every week, you could compromise and just go there and, like, suck it up. Just don't hate on the religion. Just say like, okay, babe, I'll go with you like once a month or a holiday or like big events, and then just to be supportive, but it's not like you're gonna have to convert the religion to them. Like your boyfriend should never try to force you to convert to religion. But later down the line, if you are different religions and you want to have kids or start a family and raise kids religious, that's a major issue you have to work out, and maybe that would be a reason to want to break up now as opposed to later when you're more invested or already married or already pregnant with the baby, just to know that I need to find someone that believes in the same things I believe and then raise our children the same way that I want to raise them. So, on one hand, I do think you could be able to compromise and just accept your partner's religion if they aren't trying to force it upon you, and that you're just going to be supportive and show them that religion isn't something that you want to do necessarily, but you will still support them if they are involved in something, I guess, at the church, or it's a big deal for them, and you just want to go be a supportive partner. But on the other hand, if religion is such a huge issue, you're like completely adamant, like, no, I never want religion anywhere in my life, and your partner is, I do want religion, like, all throughout my life, and you do want to, like, start a family eventually, and that's a major issue, I do think maybe it is best to break up. Hope that helped answer your question, and thanks for joining me for more episodes of SexxxPerTease.